everyone. Welcome to the Extraordinarily Ordinary episode 3. Today, my guest is Miss Hidayah Zainuddin. She is a postgraduate student and her specialty is design thinking. She is a mental health patient currently seeking treatment at a private psychiatrist. Welcome, Miss Hidayah. Thank you for agreeing to do this with me. Let's start with what were you diagnosed with and when did you get diagnosed?
I was diagnosed with major depression disorder that came along with package of anxiety disorder. I call it package because I think somehow it's kind of gift from God to me for me to understand more about myself, especially about handling my emotion. And I was diagnosed about almost a year now.
What motivated you to seek treatment in the first place?
I must say, I have encouragement from people around me. When I was struck with the anxiety episode in the first place, I didn't know that it was something to do with mental health issue because the symptoms was very physical. So I thought it's some kind of heart failure.
You didn't think it had anything to do with your mental health?
Yeah, at all. I mean, other than physical symptoms like shaking, I felt numb on especially left side of my hand and shoulder. I also shivered, and at the same time, I have emotional symptoms like I can't control to stop crying. I mean, I can't control that. So I think that's somehow weird. Actually, something happened during this first, I would say, major episode of anxiety attack. I actually experienced myself visualizing self-hurt attempt. I'm a kind of person who's afraid of all these things to do with medical bloods and needles, and I'm that kind of person. I think that gives me a sign that something wrong is going on. Alhamdulillah, I didn't even perform that action.
It was just in your thoughts but not in action.
Yes, and for that one particular week, I was surviving with food from Food Panda, Grab Food, and also anything that even if I need to cook, I would do something on that doesn't require me to cut knife and scissors or whatever.
Would you mind sharing the symptoms that you experience as someone with anxiety disorder?
After attending few sessions of treatments, I realized that the first anxiety attack actually didn't happen that during that time, the 1 year ago incident. And I think few years back I also had some probably physical symptoms of anxiety. I remembered I did cry until I was panting and have short of breath. I remembered I kind of have something like panic attack and I almost vomit. I felt, it's very uneasy feeling. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's a physical reaction. To what you're feeling emotionally.
Yeah, but at that time I didn't realize it has something to do with my emotion.
So your symptoms began even before last year.
Before last year, yeah.
I think that happens a lot to people with mental health issues. We've been having the symptoms for a much longer time before the period that we were diagnosed. Usually these symptoms happen because of triggers. So can you tell us what normally triggers this kind of reaction?
My triggers happen to be an individual. It's a person. Later on, I kind of observed that anything related to this person, the picture, the text, and sometimes even the person that my mind think is associated with this person became a trigger too. But that somehow depends on the situation as well.
Speaking about your trigger, you said it's an individual. So what does that individual have to do to trigger it?
Okay, this is quite hard to answer.
Take your time.
At first, I didn't even realize that this person is a trigger. But during my first major episode, what happened was I received a text from this person, and I don't know, probably at that time I kind of regard that the text is something harsh. I started having this anxiety attack. I felt numb all over my body. I can't even get up off the bed. I cried for hours, which prolonged to days and then weeks. And then I had that visual of self-hurt. And so I went for my first psychiatric, I set myself a first psychiatric appointment. And even during that first appointment, I was already diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Prior to start seeing the psychiatrist, I actually called befrienders because I felt so helpless that I could not stop crying. So I called befrienders. I got calmed for a couple of days. Then I started to cry again. I think I called for Jakim Hotline Healthcare, something like that. And this person actually first she taught me how to do the breathing exercise, which worked temporarily, but after some time the symptoms came back. So she gave me a number of clinical psychologists. After speaking with this clinical psychologist, I found that the episode that I was having is called acute stress attack. With her explanation, I understand that happened because of a long-term emotional harassment.
What do you do when an anxiety or panic attack happens? Did you learn any techniques to help calm you down?
I did learn a few techniques from few personnel, my friends, my psychiatrists. Of course, I think most of the time we heard about the breathing exercise, which is to breathe in and then hold your breath and then inhale, exhale. There's another one called butterfly hug, which I happened to saw in a drama, in a Korean drama. So I felt relief somehow. As a Muslim, of course, whenever I remembered, I tried to do some zikir. Also, which I think pretty helps, I started to use essential oils to help me calm down. Another thing that also helps, I was documenting or throwing my emotion on paper by writing it out. Not really a journal, because I was actually venturing into creative writing. I'm in the middle of writing a novel about this mental health issue, and also I was venturing into script writing and also book writing. I wish that I could put I could come up with a story of mental health fighters in one of the telemovies.
So how are things going for you now? Are you better at managing your condition?
Wow. Well, I always thought that I am getting better. In fact, that's the hope that every patient had. I was being ambitious. During my third appointment, I already asked the doctor, because I was given few types of medication, and it was changed over time. I thought when I was given something milder, it's a sign of me already recovering. I do not know that the psychiatrist actually gave me a milder prescription, because I complained that I have emotional numbness, that I could not cry. So he prescribed me with something milder. At that time, when I still have depression episodes, I got kind of frustrated actually, because I thought I am already recovering. But then my psychiatrist told me that, Hidayah, that will be a very long episode. So for your case, you haven't even ended your first episode drama, and you have more series to come. According to my psychiatrist, I'm progressing, especially from my MDD, but I still need to learn to cope with my anxiety. Recently, I had this exercise suggested. Sorry.
Okay, take your time.
To overcome I need to rebuild my confidence to see this trigger person. Actually, doctor said, my psychiatrist told me that I'm not ready yet. But seeing my desperation, because I keep asking, when can I be confident to see this person, because I was told that her health condition is worsening, so I'm afraid that her time might come before I get to see this person. So the doctor suggested for me to do a simple exercise, which is to go around, to drive around and to be around the area of this person's house, just to check if I am mentally ready. Recently, the doctor gave me something, prescribed me with extra medications. It's like a cheat in a video game, when you are not ready but you buy some special weapon. It was done in 2 attempts. The first attempt failed horribly because we tend to overthink what's going to happen. And so my brother suggested that, hey, how about in the next attempt, when you are ready and calm, just take the medicine and then off we go. So I said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That's what we did. Coincidentally, that morning I had something else to do. My mind was pretty occupied and I didn't have time to think much about it. And then I asked my auntie to come along. Before we start that journey, I've already taken some medication from home to help me relax. And then when we passed the toll plaza nearby the house, I already had my first panic attack. I just felt palpitation. The second step, we went there, and again I had another palpitation. I said, oh, okay, let's stop first. And we stopped by in the nearby shop houses. After calm down, we proceed to finally drive until we arrive in front of the house. Again, I had another attack. This time is more severe. I started to cry out loud, and it took me another 20 minutes for the medication to start work and for me to calm down.
So you were outside the house for 20 minutes?
For another 20 minutes, and then after ready again, I went. We tried to go in. Halfway through, few steps till I actually reached in front of the door, I stopped. I thought I couldn't make it. It was very tough, but Alhamdulillah, I managed to come in to the house. Upon seeing this person, I had another anxiety attack. It was so surreal. I didn't expect that it would be that tough. The doctor did actually somehow give me precautions or warnings, saying that these are the things that you might face. So I was told that, when you go to the place, make sure you don't stay more than 20 minutes. That's the maximum limit that you can be in that location. Secondly, if you can talk, tell this person that you seek for forgiveness and you also forgive this person. If I'm not capable, then just hold the hands, hold this person's hand. And true enough, I was not capable to talk to this person. I ended up crying and I hugged this person, and this person hugged me back and said something like, it's okay, we are both not well. And then just as the doctor advised, it was my auntie who said that I'm sorry, but she's sick, she's on medication, so we are very sorry, we had to make our move. Right after I stepped out of the house, I almost collapsed. After I got into the car, I slept the whole journey, and I only realized like 2 minutes before we reached my brother's place. Only then I woke up. After 2 days, coincidentally, it was my next appointment. So the doctor asked what happened. I mean, the updates about the I call a mission. I call this as mission. I said, we managed to do that. So I told the doctor, I told my psychiatrist what actually happened, and he said, good. I mean, that's quite an achievement because you managed to make it. But the doctor asked how how I managed to do it. So I told the doctor what happened during the visit, and he said, "Okay, Hidayah," because I asked him, "So doc, what's next?" The first thing he said to me, he said, "Hidayah, you need to recover." And I was puzzled. What do you mean by recover? I said, "Yeah, you need to recover from all the fatigueness, all those tiredness that you felt, all those physical symptoms that you had during the visit. You may need 1 to 2 weeks to do that." I said, "Wow, really?" True enough, I felt fatigued before I end the session with my psychiatrist. He said, "Hidayah, your effort deserves you a reward. Please reward yourself," he said. But I told the doctor, I said, "But doc, I'm not fully satisfied with the visit because I thought I'm strong enough to talk normally with this person, but I didn't." But the doctor said it's already an accomplishment. Okay, I think I have to accept that for now.
I think it is an accomplishment because you managed to somewhat manage your emotions. Granted, you took medications, but it was your effort to physically go and not to say confront, but to meet the trigger.
Oh yeah, and actually, the reason the doctor actually gave me this prescription because first he saw my desperation because I've been asking is there any way that I could visit this person. So he said, looking at my desperation, he said that if let's say I came to a stage, or if it happened to be that I didn't manage to visit this person until the time comes, he fears that my depression might go worse than what I'm having now. So that is much more harder to recover.
That's the thing with mental illness. It's not a linear recovery. Yeah. There are so many factors. There are so many reasons, so many triggers that you need a holistic approach to recover. It's not just the medication. It's not just the breathing techniques. But it's a combination of everything, right?
And also your own strength, and mind, will strength.
Yeah. You have to want to get better.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to say to our audience, specifically those who might be having anxiety, symptoms of anxiety, but they don't know what to do about it?
When it happened to me, I was not so sure what to do, but I was just so blessed that I have people that I can reach to. I have friends, I have families. It's just so happened that I my way of getting myself treated sort of being paved to me. I mean, I got advice, I got the neighbor, I even had neighbor who constantly check on me and suggested and convinced me to actually get my first appointment. If you think that you have similar symptoms like what I had and what I experienced, I suggest that go get help from professionals immediately. Of course, going and taking that courage to actually make your first step is it requires a lot of courage. Of course, always in your mind you have stigmas from people around you.
Sometimes the stigma is within yourself too.
Yes.
Sometimes stigma is within yourself. It's like, oh God, if I got treated, then what if people start to call me crazy? And that's another thing I think that been worrying a lot of mental health fighters is that if I were to see a psychiatrist, will I be prescribed with antidepressant or prescriptions forever throughout my life? That's also my concern when I first made the step. I posed this question to the psychiatrist, to my psychiatrist, and he said that actually if you are treated early enough, I mean you get to be diagnosed early enough, you might don't even require any prescription, just therapy will do, right? So yes, I think this is also something that people need to know. You need to have that will and the wants to actually recover. Only you can push yourself and determine that.
So thank you, Hidayah, for doing this interview with me. I am so glad because our mission is to spread awareness about the importance of taking care of mental health, because as you mentioned, your mental state produce physical symptoms,
Yes.
physical reaction.
Yeah.
So it's interrelated. Your mental health and your physical health is interrelated. One cannot exist without the other. So you have to take care of both. If you are experiencing symptoms of depression, anxiety, or if you feel like you need to talk to someone, don't be ashamed. You don't have to care what other people are saying, because unless they have been in your shoes, they won't really know what demons you're fighting, what battle you're fighting. And all you can do is to save yourself, help yourself, because there's no guarantee that others will do that for you. Okay? So thank you, Hidayah. Thank you so much for doing this with me, and I wish you all the best. And thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next episode. Bye! Welcome to the Extraordinarily. You've got minutes. Write about me. I'm a diva, and I love being in the limelight, but I get stage fright. So rather than acting, I would rather have people tell stories about me.